Hey guys, hope you're doing well, and this is a review of the RK84. But first of all, I'd like to say that this is my first mechanical keyboard, so do take my opinions with a grain of salt. Currently you guys can get this keyboard in Bangladesh well under 5,000 taka. This is a pretty new keyboard here, so in my opinion the prices will go down as more shops start bringing it. And yes, you can also get this keyboard in white. Also, I'll be modding this board at the end of this video, so stick around if you want to watch that. That being said, let's jump into the review. Starting with the unboxing, there's really nothing much going on with the box. Inside you get the manual, which has some useful shortcuts to control the lighting. You get the keyboard itself, a USB Type-C cable, a keycap puller, and magnetic standoffs. Now onto the keyboard itself, you can definitely feel that it's built pretty well and also has some weight to it. The body has no noticeable flex and overall feels really good in your hands. Something I like about the board is that it has two USB ports in the back that may come in handy at times. Now in terms of connection, you can use this board in three ways. You can connect it via the USB Type-C cable, Bluetooth, or even the 2.4 GHz dongle they give you. You can connect and switch between three devices at once while using the Bluetooth, and the latency is not really noticeable. As for the 2.4 GHz dongle, I've heard online that it's really bad and has a lot of latency if you try using it from a distance. But I was pretty optimistic that it wouldn't be that bad, but damn, it definitely was. If you're just over 2 feet away or so, the dongle loses connection. On the other hand, the Bluetooth works just fine from one end of the room. There are two switches in the back, one for turning the power on and off, and one for turning on the Bluetooth. There's also a removable top cover which kinda changes the whole look of the keyboard. This is really cool and big shout out to them for adding this. Moving on to the keycaps, they are made of ABS plastic and feel pretty okay, but a few keycaps do have some rough edges around the bottom, but that's okay as you're not going to feel that while tapping anyways. I myself like the minimal look of the keyboard as it is, but if you're into RGB, this board has got you covered as well. It has perky RGB lighting and a ton of presets you can choose from. I couldn't find a software for the board anywhere, and the ones I did not work. So I emailed Kludge, and surprisingly enough, they replied and actually sent me one that works. You can customize the lighting from the software and also set macros and keybinds. And it's really easy to use as well. I'll share a link for the software in the description below. Next up, in my opinion, the biggest selling point of this board is the Hotswapable PCB. If you don't know what that is, it basically means you can just pull out the switches and replace them with any other mechanical switches like JMX, Gatrons, scales, or whatever you want. My board comes with RK red switches, but you can also get it in brown or blue switches. Here's a sound test. I'm sorry I don't have a really good mic, but they sound pretty decent. But if you want to make your keyboard sound way better, you can do something as simple as the foam mod, which I will be doing at the end of this video as I already mentioned. Next up, the stabilizers on this board are pre-looped, but they are nothing crazy, and they do have a decent amount of rattle. I'll be modding the stabilizers as well, and here's what the stock steps sound like. Now I'll be doing the foam mod. You can click off the video if you don't want to watch it, but the foam mod basically is just adding a layer of foam inside the board itself to remove any hollowness and have a more consistent sound. You just have to remove the screws and pull out the PCB. But don't pull out the PCB right off as there are two wires connecting the battery and the USB ports. You have to pull them off first. And by the way, you don't have to remove all the keycaps for doing this. Now you're going to place a layer of foam or any dampening material, but don't use anything that's too hard or too thick as you won't be able to close the PCB back again. Just make the cutouts where the battery and USB ports are and don't forget the two little switches. You can then fill the gaps with the remaining foam and screw the PCB back after connecting the wires. And here's what it sounds like after adding the foam. I also did the bandage mod and the holy mod to the stabilizers, but did not record it. I'll link a few videos showing how you can do that. That's it for the video guys. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed.